the board, but the other players, they are ready to go. It is time to get the first moves in. Where is Hikaru?
It's a mystery. Where is Hikaru Nakamura? And here we see the arbiter, Judith, there saying, Denis, you should start the clock. The games have commenced. Hikaru is late.
It's the first time all event we've seen someone late to the round, so I have no idea where he is, but I'm sure there's a good reason.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that happen before, and it's a rapid game. It's 15 minutes with 3-second increment.
He's allowing the white pawn to push.
Wow, and Hikaru also had that expression that he's just resigning himself to the draw. What is happening here?
Do you see his face, though, after the pawn push? He's like, what is happening? What am I doing? When he's getting in time trouble, he hasn't been his usual self. And look at him, he's trying to bounce back. He's trying to dance to whatever music's in his head. But that G-pawn is very dangerous. And if you play bishop e5, check that rook can sacrifice.
Ooh, he's pushing his own pawn, and now we will see this draw that we've been talking about as play fizzles out. He still has to be slightly careful.
He played that move with 2 seconds and a head shake. Can white actually just push the G7 pawn?
He can, but he'll put his bishop back with check, and that's why the king goes over here. Now rook takes d2 will be a draw. It is a draw indeed.
And finally, it does happen, and Hikaru relieved after that draw. He tried for more, but Fabiano just keeps it all under hold. And Hikaru seems to not be able to believe what's happening in his game right now.
Twice with the white queen on a7.
And we've already confirmed ourselves 2 Armageddons as Nordebek, Wesley go into one, and it will also be between Alireza and Denis Lazavik. Is this going to be the 3rd Armageddon? The arbiter comes in, Hikaru steps out to check, to confirm. I think Hikaru wants to play on.
Hikaru does want to play on, and it will only be the 2nd time. For those of you unfamiliar with some of the rules of chess, if the same position is reached 3 times, then the game ends in a draw. So the arbiter is ruling right now that this is not the 3rd time that the position has happened.
As David did mention, and it's happened twice.
But what happens when he makes a claim that he's wrong?
You get 2 minutes.
Oh, it's not 1 minute. He gets 2 extra minutes on the clock. Hikaru Nakamura with more time.
Yeah, and actually we were talking, Robert, about Fabiano's track record.
Of course.
Yeah,
Let's listen in.
Of course. So this is 1. This is 2, right?
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2 times.
E4 is what that rook. It is taking away so many key squares, defending that G5 pawn. Black's rook struggling to create counterplay, to create threats against white's pawns. And it's the knight that jumps forward, picks up the B7 pawn. The queenside pawns are going to start marching up the board right now. This practically has to be advantage Hikaru.
Definitely an advantage for Hikaru without the queens on the board. But the good news for Denis is that the white king can't easily join the action because that G3 pawn, if that one is given up, black still has a rook pawn to create as a passer. So here comes Denis's king into the center, but apparently that was a mistake.
Wow, the black king.
Oh, that's a blunder! He walks into a knight fork.
Oh my goodness. And Denis was defending so well, but Hikaru, he kept up the pressure.
Oh my god! And Hikaru gets the dub in. Alireza wins against Magnus. Hikaru beats Denis Lazavik. What an end to that game. And there's one more still on as Abdusattorov is fighting against Maxime Vachier-Lagrave. Opposite color, but now absolutely level. And a hesitancy there by Alireza. He finally decides to go to 8-6 with his king.
And that black king is inching closer because white wants to put that rook on the g-file and trade the rooks off. Not allowed here. If that bishop, it snakes back, here it comes. If it gets to f5, that white king could be in a mating net.
Oh, there it is. Back. He's losing now. Yep. He's in the net.
He's in the net. He walks right into the net. Bishop can even...
And they know it. They know it.
It's a well-known winning position. Black's rook will come round now and deliver a killer blow. The white king has no escape squares. Any check on the h-file will be decisive. Magnus goes the long way round, and white is stuck.
Alireza with a smile. He knows this is all over. He's gotten his king at the wrong side. There's a mate in one being threatened that you cannot fight against. Magnus Carlsen gets the job done, takes it to Armageddon. Alireza is disappointed. He had this one. A draw would have seen him through. And the other man who is very relieved with this result is Hikaru Nakamura.
You can defend for a long time.
Good. And therefore, how else to defend this square? You might just have to play a move like rook f2, as he has done, allowing a queen. And we see Wesley now up a piece.
That's a big piece as well. That knight on c1 is hopping up to d3 to win some more material. Nordebek attacks the queen on d5. He's still fighting. Do you just jump back with your knight to d3? f7 will be checkmate. It's a hopeless position for Hikaru.
Yeah, he just needs to add the white rook to the mix. The other 3 pieces are perfectly ideally placed. I mean, there's so many flashy ways of trying to checkmate here. Rook a2 looks good. Bishop c6. He's moving in for the kill. He's getting ready to sacrifice his queen again in certain variations, or to just push the white d-pawn. This is beyond hopeless right now. Hikaru, it's just been a heartbreaking day. Tough day for him. Running into inspired opponents.
You're supposed to celebrate your birthday. He came here, had his first matches on his birthday, and it's been the worst possible present. I mean, it's just been really unfortunate play for Hikaru. So many fans out there. I'm sure you're watching right now. But this is what happens when you go toe-to-toe with all of the best players. Even Hikaru can have this kind of event where he's losing match after match. He still somehow will have a chance to get to the survival stage. But today is not his day. He will have to. He has to win tomorrow.
He gives up. He resigns. Shake hands, and Fabiano Caruana gets another win in the bag. 14 moves to get that 1 second increment, but I don't think that's going to help him given the position on the board.
He's also completely lost over the board. So
6.
Magnus, way too much time. He's just trying to calculate, can I trade those queens? The answer should be yes. I think if he trades the queens, he's still in a winning position. And for Alireza, it might have been too low of a bid. 9 minutes to start the game against Magnus Carlsen. He'll be regretting that, I think, more than anything.
He really created his chances. He was so resilient in handling the attack and creating counterplay. Well, there is this f-pawn. You need to stop it from moving to f2. So Magnus going to retreat with the knight, or will he continue pushing the e-pawn? He retreats, no risk.
Yep, no risk, no reason to risk. And look at the clock. Alireza's time in this tournament is running out.
1 second, and Alireza is flagged. Magnus Carlsen gets the win. Alireza Firouzja eliminated.
What a devastating way to go. Winning game 1, but Magnus Carlsen shows why he has been the best player in the world for well over a decade. Well done, Wesley. So he's impressed, and he's also impressing us in this game because this is a miniature. It's over.
Yeah, I loved Magnus's interview with Danny yesterday where he was like, we're not done. Let's talk about those predictions. You only motivated me, if anything. And I think that loss to Wesley in the previous game, the first kind of blemish on his scoreboard in this tournament, I think it's really woken Magnus up, even pushed him to higher levels. And checkmate incoming, queen to b4. This won't change anything at all. White's queen, that pawn on f6 counts as an attacker, and the white knight joining in very shortly. Maxim's just playing on, praying for a miracle. But Magnus, after a bit of calculation, will land that killer blow.
And just to understand, how do you finish it? So the knight comes in, you're threatening a mate on 8-7. The only way that Maxim has is to run. Magnus is showing us the way. I think we can just sit back and enjoy the beauty of Magnus Carlsen's chess.
He's not even material down. And we see a handshake. Maxim resigns. Miniature, you called it, Robert. Brutal victory from Magnus.